So Dylan, I got some questions for you, and
What's it?
we're gonna play a quick game. Well, a 15-minute long game of Would You Rather.
It's a
And these are some
long
of the
would you rather.
internet's best. Yeah, right. So we'll just go back and forth, and we'll just list them off and just see what we say. All right. So
Cool.
first, would you rather on this list? Would you rather swim? Oh, by the way, and actually, never mind. Would you rather swim 300 meters through crap or 300 meters of dead bodies?
Can you swim through both of those?
Well, you're gonna have to in this scenario.
I would swim through the crap. I would not. I would not want to swim through dead bodies. I mean, I wouldn't want to swim through
I don't
either. But like,
I
I
don't
would.
know, man. I feel like dead bodies I could just step on and just walk over.
You
It's
can't step on it.
terrible.
You can't step on it. You got to swim through it, man.
Oh god, yeah, that'd be really hard. The
That's yeah.
crap.
It's just
If I get
there's an
goggles,
emotional.
if I get
No,
goggles and like a
no,
respirator and all
no.
that stuff, then I would do it. No, you don't
You
get to
got.
decide. I'm the
You
one that
got
asked
no,
the
no, no, no,
question.
no, 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 no.
I
Understand this.
discovered the
Understand this. We
parameters.
gotta have some. We gotta have some stakes here. You gotta go through this like naked as the day you were born, and you gotta swim.
All right, on one condition.
What's
The
that?
None of the people like I don't want to get any like hepatitis or whatever from this.
Well,
Chlamydia or
I
whatever
want
the
to.
hell it is.
You're not
So
going
we're
to get
not
chlamydia
like,
from a dead body. I don't know what you're doing with it, man, but don't do
no, I'm
that.
just saying like with
Um,
the crap and whatnot. I want none of those
well, there's just no
STDs.
emotional damage from swimming through crap.
There's a ton of emotional damage from swimming
I mean,
through
yes, but
crap.
it's not. You don't make a connection with the dead crap. It's just crap.
Yeah,
It's
but
a
you're
pile of
never
crap.
like I don't know. I'm gonna have to take the dead bodies on this one.
You're gonna
I
take
think
the
I
dead.
could just
Why are you taking the dead
I think
bodies?
I could just nut up and do it. I just
Please
for
don't say
crap I
that.
just
After
don't
your
know.
last comment about the dead bodies, don't say nut up.
I'm
Absolutely
just
not.
saying like I could do it. All
Okay.
right, here's another one. All right.
Okay.
If you were reborn in a new life, would you rather be alive in the past or future? So I think that just means like if I could take you and just would you rather live in the future or the past? I think that's a stupid question. Who wrote these questions? They're terrible.
They're
We're
supposed to
not
be the
doing that,
internet's best that you pulled up. I don't
right?
know. I think that's interesting. No,
The
let's
internet's
do it. Let's do it. I think
let's do it.
I as much fun as the past supposedly is, we are looking at it from a distance, and it was kind of hellish. Provided we don't go through an actual apocalypse, I would go for the future. I think it would be
I think it's gonna
quality
be
of life
shitty
is
no matter
generally
what.
improving. Steven Pinker says that humans as a species are getting less violent over time. I
I mean
forget what book
that's
that was, but it's
true,
easily like looked up. But
but I just
I would rather go for the future, man.
I think it
Don't you want to
depends.
go through space?
Mm, eh. I don't know. I've read a lot of the Aliens comics. I'm pretty satisfied on not going to space.
Okay, then fair enough. Fair enough.
Um,
Don't
uh,
don't 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 go there then.
I guess like the I don't know. It depends on like if I got to bring anything with me. Like if I knew I was like reborn in the past, or if I knew, and I don't know. It depends on that. Like if I had some kind of like grasp on who I was before and like this stuff, then yeah, I would probably pick the past, but not like the too distant past, because like diabetes. If I didn't have diabetes,
Yeah,
I don't know. Like
you've got a bit more
it's gonna
stakes
be
up there in
brutal.
the.
Yeah, if I go to the future, like I'll
Yeah,
just get cured of diabetes, but you also don't know, like maybe everything's nuked, so you just like
or
you're
maybe insulin costs 700 a vial.
yeah,
Oh
like you're
wait,
born into the Fallout universe.
there's no
You're
insulin in the
born into the
Fallout universe.
Fallout or the Skyrim universe. Is essentially what it is.
God,
I'm gonna oh
those
crap.
both suck.
Yeah, they do. I
Look
think
at
I'll pick the
irradiated or dragoned.
yeah. Okay,
Right,
I'm gonna stick with you said future. I'm gonna stick with I'll go the future too. We'll go there
future.
together.
Cool, cool.
Um,
All right,
do you have
okay,
a
my
question?
turn.
All right.
Yes, I do. Would you rather shave with somebody else's razor or you use their toothbrush? And by the way, it's not
Razor.
just their face that
Razor.
they're shaving.
Razor.
It's not just their face that they're
I
shaving.
know, hands down razor.
Why?
Because I can clean that off before I'd use it.
Not completely. It's an old manky razor, like little hairs in it.
You can clean those out one, and then I can
Okay,
sanitize it, and then I can just
okay,
use it. Like
that's a
I
fair
wouldn't
point.
be
I
happy about
honestly,
it, but and then
I would not
someone's
either.
toothbrush.
I
Forget
mean,
that.
brushing your teeth is a bit more critical anyway. You can go a day without shaving and be fine, but if you go
Yeah,
a day without brushing your teeth, it's
yeah.
yeah. Okay, that's
Now if it
fair.
was like rusty or something, I don't know because I don't,
A rusty toothbrush. I'm
Yeah,
sure that's
no,
what
no,
you meant.
rusty
All
razor,
right.
get out of here.
Okay.
How about? Ooh, would you rather be free or totally safe?
That's an open-ended one.
Mm-hmm. I was looking
So
at some of
basically, the
these, and I was like,
Matrix.
yeah,
I don't know. There's some appealing stuff about being free, but then if it's totally safe, if it is just the Matrix, I mean, it wasn't so bad if
I
you were
want to
in
be
the
free.
Matrix.
I want to be
You
free
want to
for
be free?
sure. Like, it's not necessarily saying that because you're free, you're always in danger,
Yeah, that's
but
true.
it's like
But
it
what if it is just the Matrix and you wake up and just the world is crap?
it doesn't. I'd rather be free. I'd rather
That's fair.
die a
Okay,
free
but if
man
you're
than live a
totally
slave.
safe and you don't know, how about that?
You
Because
don't
I'm
know
going
that
off
you're
of that. If
totally
I don't
safe.
know that no, you do know that you're totally safe. You don't know that you're not free.
Well, I think that's part of the trade-off.
Okay. So
Like,
if I
so
did know
how
that
would
it
you?
wasn't free, I would probably want to be free. But if I didn't
So
know, if it was Matrix until Morpheus showed up and offered the pills that turned it into hate groups,
so
um,
like, what would you do? So how would you know that you were totally safe then? Everything would have to be ridiculously controlled, and you would have to know that
that's a
everything's
good
in
point.
control at all times for you to do
I
that.
think you
Like,
got me on that one. Okay, then yeah, free.
yeah, I'd choose to be free. Um, would you rather eat crap that tasted like chocolate or chocolate that tasted like crap?
I mean the chocolate. I'm not eating crap.
I'm eating the chocolate. Yeah, I
Yeah,
can.
it's just like a
I've
texture
had
thing even.
some dried kale chips covered in chocolate before, so I'm pretty sure I can handle
It'll just taste
some
the
crap tasting.
same.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, you go. You
Um,
go.
Here's one for you,
Yeah.
specifically you.
All right.
Um, would you rather live in the World of Warcraft universe as an NPC or live in this world as a World of Warcraft character?
Oh, wait. Do I get the powers of a World of Warcraft character?
No, just the armor.
Oh,
Yeah, let's
dude,
give
I'll
you the
take.
powers. Let's give you the powers.
Oh, yeah. I'm gonna stay in this world.
That's actually a really
NPCs
good.
like,
I think that's like a hard pass. Like, no, your life sucks. That's back to
yeah,
the freedom versus nothing.
yeah. Like, dude, I'd totally be like slightly now. I'd be so famous if I was like that. Even if I had just like
If
the
you could just
tiniest.
summon beams of light,
Yeah, dude. You know I'd be a paladin with the Ashbringer. That'd be freaking sick.
what the hell is the
Um,
Ashbringer?
it's this like super powerful pally weapon that like destroys demons and undead.
Great.
Um,
Yeah, the demons and undead that we have in this
like
world. Why would you need that?
you never know, man.
Okay.
Um, how about those are kind of
Yeah, basically
like
asked you
no,
if you
okay.
wanted to be a
I'm reading this
superhero or
question. I'm
nothing.
like, this doesn't matter. It doesn't make sense. I should say this other
Okay,
question I
shoot
was
it.
reading. Um, well, it's like, would you rather have a Lamborghini in your garage, right, or a bookcase with 9,000 books and infinite knowledge? And it's like, if you have infinite knowledge, you can't have 9,000 books. Like, uh, there's the question, the back end of the question is very much just like that doesn't make sense.
It's not
I
really.
understand what
It's
it's going
it's
for, but it's like you can't have infinite knowledge and then have a finite amount of resources that knowledge comes from. Like,
9,000 books that have infinite knowledge. Okay, so
let's just say
disregard the
you,
book thing. So you have a Lamborghini or you have infinite knowledge. If you had infinite knowledge, you could get a Lamborghini. You'd
yeah,
know how.
yeah, and in like the
So,
bookcase, it's like, or you have a bookcase with 9,000 books. First of all, I don't know where I'm gonna fit 9,000 books on a single
well, on
bookcase
the
in my
bookcase,
garage. One, two, like, how heavy are those books? How
depends on
big
the
are these
book. If it's
books?
like a little, if it's a Hallmark gift card, not a gift card,
Yeah.
card. It's an actual
And
card.
how are
Any
they
card.
organized? Like, can I just
Yeah,
open it up and I know what exactly what I'm looking for? Otherwise, going through 9,000 books to figure out something that are like, 9,000 pages each, that would suck. In fact, you know what? Yeah, I'd
okay,
probably
so
take the
I've got
Lamborghini.
a counter one for you.
All
You
right.
have one book with infinite knowledge. It is a normal sized book. It is not too heavy. It fits on your bookshelf, and you have an index. So basically, it's an infinite storage Kindle with all knowledge, and
So
you
like a
can
phone.
act on it.
So like a
But it
phone.
actually it has all knowledge. Like you can find a path that will get you to anything that you need, including like the secret to immortality, the cure for cancer, all that stuff. Um, and you can act on it, or but you have to find it first, and you don't know how long it's going to take because this is an infinite resource. But you can find it. It is a thing that you can do. Or do you want to have infinite knowledge that you can immediately have access to it? You think it and you know it, but you cannot act on it.
Wait, so I wouldn't be able to, so I would just know it to know it and then not be able to apply it?
Correct.
Well, that's freaking pointless. Um,
Not necessarily.
you can know everything, but you can't do anything with everything you know. What's the point of knowing it?
Ask the Greeks. I think that's the entire premise of an oracle.
Well, no,
Not
because
the
they
modern
acted
Greeks,
on it.
like the ancient Greeks. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, and they always fulfilled the thing, the not Odysseus, Jesus, the Oedipus was told that he would kill his dad and sleep with his mom, and so he wasn't told, but his parents were told, and basically they were like, okay, so like let's get rid of this kid, and then they
Mhm.
did, and then Oedipus bumps into his dad on the road, is
Yeah.
offended, and kicks him in the head until he dies
So,
by throwing something, and
like, the
then
thing with that though,
marries
that's
his
like
mom.
that's just more like prophesying, like just being
Yeah,
like,
that's
"Hey, this is
self
about to
fulfilling
happen."
prophecy.
But
Yeah,
okay, but a self-fulfilling prophecy, like you can know everything but can't do anything with it,
yeah.
would be like,
So
I
they
know
had
exactly
the
how to make
knowledge, and they
right.
were unable to act on it because it still happened regardless of their actions.
So you're saying you can just see into the future.
Pretty much.
I mean, I guess that would be
I wouldn't say like
useful.
you can't just like keep your mouth shut about it. You can communicate that, but it's not going to actually change anything. It might recontextualize how it happens, but it's not really. It's going to be like, okay, you have infinite knowledge, but everything is predetermined.
Uh, yeah, I think that's just kind of pointless at the end of the
Yeah,
day.
it really is. I think that's kind of why the
like,
oracle's lost. Again,
like
yeah, I think these questions are better than the ones I'm coming up with right now,
what are
because
the
I would
ones you're
also
coming
go
up with?
for the annoyingly detailed
Dude, like this
indexless
next question
Kindle.
I have right here is like, would you
Yep,
rather win $50,000 or let your best friend win $500,000? Like, I'll let my best friend win $500,000
and
because
then we'll
then
split it.
they're just gonna give me like, yeah. Oh,
Those are so greedy. Like, would you punch your friend in the face for $1 million? Yes.
yeah, he'll let me do
Who
it.
would not do
Like,
that? Who would not do that? Is your friend made of glass?
yeah.
Like,
Um,
your friend, if they're your real friend, they're going to let you hit them really hard in the face. They're going to let you break their jaw, and you pay their medical bills with your, $1 million, billion
yeah.
dollars, however much it is. $1 million
And then you
is not that
fork
much
over
anymore.
some more dough and just
I would
it's
love
pretty
a
much
million
a
dollars,
civil
but
case
yeah,
at that point that's settled out of court.
honestly, hospital bills would be over $1 million if you broke their jaw. So maybe don't
Yeah, yeah.
punch them in the head.
Yeah, punch him in the head.
Yeah.
Sideswipe to the cheek. Um, oh.
Okay.
Would you rather rule the world or live in a world with absolutely no problems at all?
I'd go for no problems. Ruling the world is a lot of work, and it presumably has problems, so you have to fix them. So the best possible situation you could have out of that is ruling the world until there are no problems. And why do you need to rule the world? If you're in a world with no problems, you don't need leadership.
Hmm.
That's just you know communism. Yeah, I'd rather be a commie.
You'd rather be a commie, okay.
I'd rather be a communist.
Um, I don't know. I mean, I would like to live in a world with no problems, but like you have to define like what a real problem is before I agree to that. Is it like, oh,
True.
I
Yeah,
ran out of soda in my cup and like that's a problem, or is it just like, is it like
I would keep. I
famine?
would say like
Like
big
what?
picture stuff, like no disease, no famine, no overpopulation, which is the counterpoint to those, and where those greasy long-haired dudes in philosophy class start to be kind of dickish.
Yeah,
Like,
they're
actually,
just
we
like,
need disease because it kills the population. Great, I'm going to cough in your face now, and you're going to be the first to go.
yeah. I was like, oh, great, we can get rid of you guys. Cool.
Yeah,
Um,
take a
I,
shower.
I guess like, I don't know. I guess no problems, but like again, we have to. You'd have to define like if someone actually gave me this choice and like I could choose, you'd have to define what problems are, um, because
Yeah.
that could
So
be a
then,
lot
for the
of
sake of
things.
this argument, let's just say that it's the big picture things. Like, there's no big financial crash. Everything is pretty well regulated, just innately, not because of any sort of you know stuff that way. You don't have people in poverty. You don't have any severe income inequality. People just work a normal amount of time, have enough free time, and make their lives pointed, and they have enough food to eat and don't get ill.
But then my other thing with that is like I'm down with that, except like if everyone's like it's not that I'm okay with like having a gap in terms of like resources or whatever, but like how do you incentivize people to like actually push ahead on some things that otherwise might not be incentivized? So like there's a problem in itself. It's how do you incentivize people?
Hmm.
In which case, then it's like, okay,
So
there's
then,
no
then you need that
problems.
leadership thing.
Yeah, you need someone to push ahead, and leadership's gonna ruffle feathers because you got to make people uncomfortable at some point. and then there's a problem.
That's
You
fair.
know what? I think there's always going to be a problem, so I'm going to rule the world.
But
I'm just,
it's the world doesn't have problems. If you think of a problem, it's just fixed because it's a problem.
but
Like, okay, people are lazy and they're not doing anything. It's just, okay, that's a problem.
then
So,
is there
laziness
freedom?
is cured. Yes, there's
Like,
freedom because
is there
lack of
freedom?
freedom would be a problem. There's freedom. There is no laziness. This, I think we're just trying to come up with the perfect utopia at this point, and there's no point to that because we're obviously not going to agree,
So then
which is a problem. So then
there's no
it's
problems.
so your perfect utopia. You want to live in your perfect utopia, or do you want to rule the world and try to make it?
Rule the
Live as a
world,
common man in
because
your
like
utopia.
I wouldn't try to make it perfect. You just try to deal with it. Like
Okay.
there's no if you're trying to spout propaganda about like doing like making something perfect or utopia, it's like it's never gonna work because people are people
No,
and we're
because
different and we
it's
have
there's a
mental
reason there's never been a
disabilities, like
utopia.
all those things. So yeah, I'm gonna go with ruling the world. Um, ultimately, it's just gonna be a cycle of mm, problems ruling the world. Yeah,
Okay.
all right.
I would say I'd rather be a common man in my utopia.
You can be a common man in my utopia.
I don't want to be a common man in your utopia. I want to be a
What if
common
it's
man in my
perfect?
utopia.
What if it's
It's perfect
perfect?
for you. It's not perfect for me. If I
How
have
do you
the
know?
option of being in my perfect utopia over somebody else's perfect utopia, I'm probably going to go for my perfect utopia.
Which would just be you, but that's you ultimately deciding everything in that utopia, right?
Not
For
necessarily. It's
you.
already like it is functionally that, yes, but it
So isn't
isn't.
that you ruling the world?
Yes, but in a different sense. Because if I'm
But
the one
you're
who's
still
ruling the world,
ruling
I
the
have to
world.
put action on that. This is just basically the shortcut to that.
But if you're okay, so if even if you're not in the position, like even if you're not president of the United States or whatever, like you would still be the controlling factor in it. You
Yes,
just wouldn't be the appointed factor, but you would be the controlling
agreed,
factor. So
agreed.
you're still the one ruling everything.
More or less, yes, but I'm not having to act on it to do that. So
That just
it's
sounds like it's
basic.
easier to
It's
rule.
That's exactly the point. I don't want challenge for challenge's sake. I'm fine
So
working hard to get stuff, but if it's going to be a would you rather, I mean, obviously I want to just have it easy.
yeah, I don't know. I like the aspect of, I mean, if I'm already ruling the world because it's my perfect world, then it's like I might as well just say I'm ruling the world and
Okay,
just
but then conversely, if it's you rule in the world actually, then you still have to work for that, and you may not get it. Whereas this is guaranteed.
I mean, it says you rule the world, so I would be ruling the world.
But you can't necessarily rule disease to stop.
Yeah, but like, does this mean wild animals would never like attack humans?
Maybe
Like,
is that
are
part
we
of your
taking out
perfect
the?
world?
Are we talking out taking out like the fault of people of just like making like, oh, I accidentally placed this like 2 inches to the left, and there was a butterfly effect that then like tripped up all this stuff, or like, you know, it's one of those things. Again, like by saying you want a perfect world, you're saying that you and your perception of that is what's dictating that, which means you
Mhm.
are a dictator.
So
Even if you're not the
I
one on the flag or doing the Mao or the Hitler or any of that, you're still the one deciding all that. So you're ultimately the one
thank you very much
deciding
for
like
comparing me to
who.
Chairman Mao and Adolf Hitler.
You're welcome.
Um,
So yeah,
oh God. Okay, I think this is going back to the freedom versus safety thing.
yeah,
Is the crux of this philosophical discussion here. So I would say that yes, freedom, but ruling the world negates the freedom. But yes, freedom, living in your own individual perfect world kind of negates everybody else's freedom, and it kind of well, no, you have the freedom, but nobody else does. So you're taking that freedom at the cost of everybody else's.
hmm
So if it was down to those two decisions, I would go for my perfect world. But if it was that or just the one I'm in now, I would probably want to stick with that. I would like some improvements to happen, but I'm not going to rule the world because that is also a dictator. I don't
Well,
really want to live in my own perfect world
mhm.
because that comes at the cost of everybody else's. And if they don't agree with me, that's kind of
But
crappy.
you can choose as a leader if you're ruling over something or you're in charge of it to be a dictator, which is just like if you step out of line, you die or whatever, or you just don't exist. Versus like the way I rule is very much. I mean, you've seen me in the way I choose to lead anyway on any level. is very delegation, like keep people accountable, communicate, um, and just like those things. So like that's how I would run my like if I ruled the world, that's how I'd run it.
The
I would let
entire
those
world.
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you still
Okay.
have in place like regional leaders. You need that. You can't be everywhere.
How
You can't
how is
decide
your power
everything.
checked?
It
Because
doesn't matter.
are other
I'm in
people?
charge.
It does. Yeah, you're in charge, and so other people don't have freedom.
Well, I mean, we set goals together. It's not like I'm a dictator. So it's saying I rule the world, but I how I
So
choose to
you
rule the
are.
world is up to me.
It's still like it's like a democratic monarchy. There's a constitutional monarchy rather. It's like you are the end all and the be all
Yeah.
in terms of power,
Yeah.
but you have to respond and answer to other. Okay, see now that makes more sense.
Like I'm sitting here and I'm just
So
like,
you
hey,
have
I'm in
to if you have to
charge.
answer,
Like,
yeah,
here, you
talk
be
to
in
me.
charge of this,
What
you
do we
be in
want? What
charge.
can we do?
Yeah, like what's going
Yeah,
on? And then ultimately, if I think it's a stupid ass idea, like I'll just be like, no, we're not gonna do that.
not happen.
Like, not gonna happen. This is the direction we're gonna go in, aka being a leader. Um,
Okay, and
so
still like I like being in leadership roles. I'm good at it in a smaller scale. I don't want to be on that ultimate scale because there's other stuff I want to do.
I just bring
That's not
people in
really
so
my aspiration.
I just want to empower people to do aspects of it so they can have a say in what's going on, but also free me up to go do other
I
things.
would I would just rather live in a world, this one, where everybody stayed informed and voted.
I mean, everyone's informed.
No,
There's
they're
tons of
not.
they're
There are people who think
informed
they're
with
informed. They're ill informed, but
yeah, that's most people.
yeah. But if people were able to have access to
People do.
truthful information,
They have the internet. They have all the
yeah, the
information
internet,
in
you
the
have to go
world
through that
at
with a
your
fine tooth comb,
fingertips.
and
So are you looking
there's a
for
lot of
truth
crap
or
that
for
catches.
facts? Because I think those two things are different in some
That's the point.
regard.
And I would love to have a discussion on that at some point, but we're hitting 22 minutes here on this recording.
All right, we got
But
one more time for
truth or facts, that's compelling. Yeah. So tell me, what is the difference between truth or facts?
so a fact. All right, I can give you all the facts about a situation, but they don't necessarily speak into the truth of it.
Gotcha.
Let's
Because
say
they lack context.
right.
Okay.
So let's say trying to think of like of a good scenario for this that explains it. Well, pretty much like I could tell you in my room, I have darts, I have guns, I have um, dirty clothes, dirty dishes. There's some red spots on my carpet that I tried to get out with baking soda. Um,
Yeah, the
and
story that's coming up here is
so
sounding
right there,
really,
yeah.
really
So it's
bad.
like those are all facts. Those are all
Yeah.
facts
Okay.
within here, but
Okay.
they're Nerf
I gotcha.
darts. They're Nerf guns. Like those are
There you go.
technically it's still a gun. It's still a dart. Um,
Yeah. So
I
it's if you're
the
technically not wrong, but the truth of
right
the matter is that what the red spot is
is
juice.
like my freaking NyQuil that I choked on the other night. Like it's like
Yeah.
so
Okay.
there's things like that where it's like you can
And you
build
just
all the facts you want about a situation, but you can also take the facts and you can speak 100% facts and still skew the truth.
yeah. Okay. That's fair. That's fair. Um, but I mean, my ultimate point is if folks knew the facts and context, which would I would say, like by our definition here, create the truth. Facts and context. If people were informed on the facts and context of a situation before they voted on it, and they all voted on it, that would be a perfect democracy, wouldn't it? Tune in next
Mm,
week when we figure out why that's not the case.
well, that'll do it for today. We'll see you guys
All right.
later. See
Bye
ya.
now.